Now, following the Ukrainian strikes deep inside Russia, Moscow has warned Western nations that it is prepared to use the nuclear option if the West attempts to invade into Russian territory. Russia's Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov has said that an attack on Russia's territorial integrity could lead to a nuclear response in the worst-case scenario. He further added that Moscow's adversary should not test Russia's resolve in defending itself with all the means at its disposal. Speaking on the sidelines of St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, Ryabkov said that Russia will continue with its special operation in Ukraine as long as necessary, signaling that the intensified attacks on Ukraine will continue in the days to come. The American Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, has also warned of a growing escalation risk as the Ukrainian military is becoming more adept at striking targets deep inside the Russian territory.
One dynamic that's changed in the last few months is Ukraine has become increasingly effective at conducting long-range strikes deep into Russia and deep against critical nodes of the Russian economy. And I think one of the things it reminds us of why it's important to try to bring this war to an end if we can, because the risk of escalation is real, more real than it was 2 years ago.
And on the ground, Ukraine continues to hit back, responding to a wave of recent intense strikes by Russia. In the latest, 3 people have been killed and 7 others injured in a Ukrainian strike in the Russian-occupied part of Crimea. Russia has also accused Ukraine of killing 8 civilians and wounding 11 more in a drone attack on a passenger bus in a Russia-controlled part of the Donetsk region in eastern Ukraine. Now, this is the moment when the drone hit a passenger bus that led to a large explosion. And on Wednesday, the Ukrainian drones hit an oil complex and military base in St. Petersburg as ministers and officials gathered for a flagship economic forum in the city. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, in fact, called the strikes fair retaliation for Russia's bombardment of Ukraine. Meanwhile, EU's foreign policy chief, Kaja Kallas, has said that Ukrainian drone strikes inside Russia are causing a bit of panic for Kremlin as Moscow has responded with increased attacks in Kiev.
It clearly shows also panic on Russian side. Why they are increasing the terrorist attacks that they're doing in Ukraine is because they don't know what to do with these things. Why they have turned off the internet and all this access to information for the regular Russians is because, you know, otherwise they would also see what is going on. And that is, of course, posing some very serious questions to Putin and its regime.
Furthermore, in a major boost to Ukraine, the EU has agreed to move Ukraine to the next stage of its membership bid, as diplomats have said that Hungary has signaled that it is dropping its long-standing veto against Kiev. Since Orban's ouster in April, Hungary's new Prime Minister Peter Magyar has suggested that he'll be happy to move forward on Ukraine's accession.